This is a Makosi Today Extra. My team and I are off to Tokwe Mukosi in the lower veld of Zimbabwe that was hit by floods. More than 3,000 families were displaced. So we're just going to go and check out the situation, see what kind of help they need. But as we go, we're taking some sanitary towels for the ladies out there because I am big on looking after your sister. So stay tuned and take this journey with us.
Thank you very much for this donation. This is very important for women, and it is only a woman who knows how important this bread is. This is a loaf of bread, and it is a woman's monthly loaf of bread. Thank you for remembering us in that way.
In most parts of Africa, female primary school net attendance rate is under 48%, meaning more than 50% of girl children are out of school, UNICEF. The prevalence of child marriage in West and Central Africa is 41%, meaning 4 out of 10 teen girls were married before the age of 18, UNICEF. In West and Central Africa, nearly 1 in 3 teenage girls have been beaten or hit since the age of 15, and 1 in 10 raped or sexually abused, UNICEF. 1 in 10 girls in sub-Saharan Africa miss school during her period, with some of them losing 20% of their education for this reason, making them more likely to drop out of school, UNICEF. 1/5 of all African children are involved in child labor, and 9% of African children are involved in hazardous work, the highest in the world, ILO. At Sisters Keeper, we change lives, so can you. Our vision and mission is to positively and sustainably change the lives of the African girl child. The African girl child is statistically the most disadvantaged social group in the world. What we do at Sisters Keeper would not only create awareness about the plight of the African girl child, but focus on actively and deliberately raising a generation of transformed girls that will have a voice, overcome their circumstance, and ultimately impact the continent. Our approach at Sisters Keeper, we believe that for societal change to take place, there has to be a total transformation of the mind. The pathway lies in educating the African girl child as a guaranteed way to empowering and liberating her. Educate a woman and you educate the world.
So I was watching Comic Relief in the United Kingdom in 2007. I remember because I wrote it down somewhere. And I thought what a fantastic thing these organizations in the West are doing for the African girl child, the African boy child. And I thought, as an African girl child, what can I do? What can I contribute to aid in Africa? So the name Sisters Keeper, I just thought about how vulnerable we are when we are on our period as women. And usually you find that when you're on your period, you don't go to a guy to say, do you have a pad or a tampon? You always go to a girl. So that's where the name came from, Be Your Sister's Keeper. Having survived cancer 5 years ago, it just expanded Sisters Keeper. I had a mastectomy, which means that a lot of people have been writing to me and asking me questions about what it means to be a woman. They're going to have a mastectomy. Should they have a mastectomy? So we have a different arm, we have a totally different arm for Sisters Keeper, which is raising awareness for breast cancer. That's why we are having the Gulf Day actually in Abuja, Nigeria, to raise awareness that cancer is actually not a death sentence.
Sisters Keeper is pursuing this vision through a number of programs and initiatives, including seminars and talk shows with a focus on confidence building and becoming ambitious and independent-minded, mentorship and mentoring initiatives.
I think what had happened was it was season 2, we're shooting season 2 of Makosi today, and this dam in Tokwe Mukosi had broken, and Makosi was concerned that the young girls in that area did not have access to like sanitary pads and basic health. So she was very concerned about that. So she mobilized a lot of resources for us to go and donate under Sisters Keepers to the community there. And we called a bunch of family and friends and journalists, and we got on a bus and went for an 8-hour trip to Tokwe Mukosi to donate those things. And it was a very difficult journey. At that time, the government didn't want people to know what was happening, and they were very hesitant to receive gifts. But we went with a bunch of journalists, a bunch of state media journalists, and we got there, and at first there was a little bit of resistance, but when they saw passion and the love, that was evident, and we were able to give that donation. And I think it was such a godly moment because it was a response to a tragic event that had happened at the time, and I think that's the reason why Sisters Keepers exist. It was like answering a call for your generation, and I think that's one thing that makes Sisters Keeper even more special, not just for us, but for Makosi as well.
Boot camps to educate them on sex and sexuality, personal hygiene and self-esteem. Undertaking visits to rural communities and refugee camps to engage directly with the displaced and traumatized girl child. Academic sponsorships and scholarships. Working in collaboration with other like-minded organizations, charities, and institutions in vocational and entrepreneurial training and capacity building of the African girl child.
My name is Dr. Yusuf, and I am with Sister Keepers Foundation, and we are helping end period poverty by distributing sanitary pads to some of these girls called the Kayai. In Ghana, generally, Kayais are most girls who move down from the north to carry loads to help themselves earn some living. By doing that, they subject themselves to certain conditions which are not the best, like sleeping outside, and then in some conditions, sleep in places that put them at risk. This initiative would help take them out of the condition that they are in and give them a better life. So we hope that more can be done for these girls, and we are grateful for what has been done so far. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate it.
So far, we have actively empowered the African girl child in Ghana, Nigeria and Zimbabwe, sponsoring events, seminars, coaching sessions, and also distributing sanitary pads to thousands of girls in these countries. We are committed to reaching all of Africa.
At Sisters Keeper, we believe that to change somebody's life, you change their mind first. So before we go in and donate anything, before we think about ending period poverty, we always start off with a conference. Our very first conference was in Harare, Zimbabwe, changing lemon to lemonade. And we've done some work in Nigeria, we've done some work in Ghana. We start with a conference and then we donate sanitary towels. So how satisfied are we? Pretty much satisfied, and I'll tell you a story. There were crabs that were washed out of an ocean, millions of them, and a little boy was picking one and throwing it back, picking one and throwing it back, and an old man came and said, how does that help all these crabs, how does that make a difference? And he says, it makes a difference for the ones I've managed to throw back. So we're really satisfied with the work we've done. We've not done as much as we would like to do. However, for those lives that we've touched, it has made a great difference. For the next 10 years, we're partnering with Melinda Gates and Tsitsi Masiyiwa's Co-Impact, and this goes into a different arm, which is gender equity. Instead of just ending period poverty, instead of just changing the minds of the girl child, we are getting them into offices, we are getting them into boardrooms, we're getting them into parliament, we are getting them into presidency and ministry. So we're very excited about that, just raising awareness and giving the African girl child a voice.
We invite you to be a part of this great mission as we start a new phase of programs and activities to raise a generation of African girls who will impact the continent. You can make a difference by making a donation to our programs, volunteering your time to improve their lives, participating in our activities. Thank you.